Hello, everyone, and welcome. You are listening to Mel's Podtastic Life. Hey there, everyone, and a big warm welcome to you guys. We have got a very, very long episode, so I'm not going to do much in the way of describing or talking about cool features and things like that, because what we have today is a very serious, albeit funny at times, very interesting discussion about the current COVID-19 crisis. And I have some wonderful people here with me on TeamTalk who are going to share both challenges and both ways in which they can help you or help each other. I thought it was a very good discussion. I'm not going to give too much of my thoughts because, for one, I shared them in the discussion, and for two, this is a little over an hour and a half long, but I thought the discussion was extremely important. So I don't want to get away from that. So more contact info will follow the discussion at the end of the show, and I look forward to hearing your comments and suggestions and so much more. Thank you guys so much for enjoying and listening to this podcast. And again, I will give contact info at the end, and I love you all. Stay safe, stay healthy, and look forward to seeing you on the other side. This is Melissa Rowe, and I would like to thank you for joining me for this Team Talk discussion. This is going to be going on my podcast, Mel's Podtastic Life. If you want to know more about the podcast, it's on Spotify, and you could also visit the podcast webpage at musicrain27.podbean.com. Okay, so we're going to get started here, and I'm going to go around the room and introduce everybody, but I want to let everyone know who's listening to the podcast I am in stereo, and you're probably thinking, why aren't you using a professional mic? But I'm doing it mainly because with the stereo, I'm able to include more people. So my roommate, Ashley, is here. Hello. That's her. My husband, Jeremy, I don't know if he's in here. No, he ran away again. But he pops in from time to time. And, I figured since this is a pretty sensitive discussion and I wanted to give everybody the chance to say what they wanted to say, and be inclusive without having to toss a microphone around and create a bunch of noise. And so I figured this would be the best option. But with me today, I have 3 people, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce them right now. First, I want to introduce you to Jody, and she's joining us on Team Talk here. So Jody, just give a brief intro about your life, and or who you are. If you don't want to say exactly where you're from, that's fine, but so people can get an idea of.
Sorry.
So, but yeah, if you don't mind, just give a little intro.
I'm Jody. I live in Vermont with my fiance and our daughter, and we're pretty much at home. Chris has health issues, so I pretty much run the errands when they have to be run, and for safety's sake, I won't take our daughter out unless, we're just around the apartment complex so she can ride her bike once in a while so she doesn't go stir crazy.
Okay. And don't forget your beautiful doggies.
Of course, we have 2 guide dogs. Fala is mine and Neil is Chris's.
Mm-hmm. Jack had to pop out, but he sends a message of, introduce me on my behalf, he says. So Jack was another person who was in the discussion. But alongside Jody, we have Jane.
Hello, everybody. This is Jane. Hopefully my audio is coming through.
Your audio is doing good.
Technical difficulties. I live in sunny Los Angeles right now. I can't see the sun because we're stuck at home. So yeah, I live in sunny LA, and I'm a student, so I'm a master's student who is studying assistive technology and human services fully online, and have my family with me. My sister came down from Berkeley a month ago, and we are cooped at home. If I have to go to errands, I will do them. However, uh, it's interesting. Not many options or delivery options are available, and we'll get to that soon.
We'll get to that.
So yes.
So of course, we're going to be talking about how students, both from K to 12, have been impacted, and college students as well, and the acquiring of supplies, both groceries and household essentials. I think that's very important. Since Ashley is still here, Ashley, would you like to give a description, an intro for the discussion?
Yeah. Hi. As Melissa said, I'm her roommate, Ashley. I'm in college. I'm going for my associates in studio art, and currently all my classes are online, including my art class.
Yep.
And that's actually really interesting.
Yeah, because usually art classes, you go to the class, you get critiqued, you do your paintings. Usually that's something you do in person. Like, I never thought that English classes could be online. I mean, I know they have English classes online, but, when I've been going to college for the past few years, it's always literary discussion, and participation is a huge part of your grade.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's pretty interesting. Okay, well, I've invited a ton of people to this discussion, but they either haven't been able to come, they've been having issues with their net. Some people say they may pop in from time to time. So I guess if they do come in, I'll let them introduce themselves and talk a little bit about how the COVID-19 crisis has affected all of us. So first of all, I want to kind of go around, and I want both our guests to basically talk about their concerns about health. I'm sure with this being a health crisis, it's certainly, we have seen quite a bit of deaths. We have seen, some people have seen loved ones and family members. Recently, my husband, he has a worker that comes and helps him, clean the house, or takes him to the library because he's part of an independent regional program, and they help him with his because of his cerebral palsy and his blindness. The worker, it may possibly have coronavirus, due to the fact that one of her clients tested positive. So she's had to quarantine. So that's resulted in a temporary suspension in his services. And, besides, we have to stay at home as well because of these services. So he really can't go anywhere unless he has to run essential errands. So I just want to kind of give everybody an opportunity to talk about their health, any health concerns they might have for their friends and their loved ones, any thoughts that they might have about how how they feel regarding this health situation. So I'm going to start off with Jane first, and why don't you go ahead and talk about your health and how this might be affecting you health-wise.
Yeah, right now the health in our family is good. I'm thankful for that one. However, I do have family members in Korea that they don't actually, they're part of the country that hasn't had the outbreak, but yes, a lot of friends who live in a central part of the country, I think, have the well, it's the entire just subsection, and family members are not allowing people to just enter and exit. So thankfully our family is healthy, but there are, situations can change. But yeah, only problem or major problem is getting supplies. We cannot ship anything, even though we have the supplies to do that. We can't. They won't.
So
You
is
know.
your home country just not accepting, like, if your family needs things to affect that'll help their health, they can't receive them?
No, no. They said,
Mm.
and that's hard
So
because we
so
have
they're not
sources here.
they're not accepting any imports or anything right now.
No, they're
Mm.
asking that everything be, because the border is shut
Yeah.
down. They can't do that. So, but we have this. It's like we have the sources. We can't give it to them, but they need the
Mm.
sources, even though they don't have
Yeah.
the virus, at least in their area yet. And it's like it's interesting. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. Jody, would you like to share with us how this has affected you health wise?
Health-wise, so far we're healthy, but Chris is immunosuppressed, so
Mm-hmm.
the worry is that if he catches the virus, it could be worse for him. So that's why he doesn't leave the house unless he absolutely has to,
Mm-hmm.
like for his doctor's appointments. So
I think that's one of the big concerns right now is immunosuppressants. Anybody that's on
right,
them. Um, my mom, she has multiple sclerosis, and so they have to pretty much keep her under lock and key because she also has to deal with those immunosuppressants, and she could easily. That's a huge thing, and I think I heard on the news that one of the treatments they were trying for the virus is actually an active treatment for lupus. And so some people that are suffering from lupus related symptoms right now, I saw an article about a woman who needed to get the medication and they were saying, nope, it's only for COVID-19 people.
yeah,
When
I
she
saw
suffers
something like that on
from
Twitter
lupus.
as someone they said that they took her off the medication and then said thank you for your sacrifice as if she volunteered, and I don't know if that's true because I mean not everything you see on Twitter is true,
Well,
but
sometimes we don't, yeah, I don't know, sometimes we don't we don't want our sacrifices sometimes, but I guess it's just a fact of life. But still, I think that should have been a voluntary right. Either that or she should have consulted with her doctor and he could have maybe given her an alternative, because if they did need this medication for the COVID-19, they could have at least tried to find a temporary solution and not just said, well, no more medication,
yeah,
goodbye.
exactly, because I mean it's like okay, I may not die from COVID-19, but I may die from the disease I already have
Yeah,
because
and that's
they're going to
gonna
take this
and
away
her
from
death
me.
is not going to be, because if she dies from lupus, they're gonna be like, oh well, she died from lupus, how sad. People die from lupus every year. It's not going to be treated with the same respect and concern. Um,
Right. It's like she's, and they'll make her a martyr maybe. Oh, she died from lupus so that people could be saved from coronavirus.
yeah, which honestly, with the number of deaths that have been going up, I mean, it just seems like bodies are piling everywhere. So it's getting to me to seem like everyone's like, oh, so and so died from coronavirus, and the only people that are getting recognized are like the workers, the essential workers, which they should be. They should be
Oh, they
getting
should be
recognized.
definitely. But it's like I've actually become, not that I don't care, but it's like I feel the same way now about corona that I do about the shootings, the school shootings, all the mass shootings.
Yeah,
It's like another
it
one
keeps going on and on
with
and
like
on.
this
It's just
robotic non-punctuation in my head, like, oh, another one happened. It's not that I don't care. It's just that it's too much. It's like not even registering anymore. It's, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
not surprising me. It's not. I mean, I mean, not no one I know has died from a shooting or from it, so
Yeah.
it doesn't affect me. Not that it doesn't affect me. It's just I'm not
Yeah.
cold. I'm not. I mean, I'm sorry they're dead, but it's not like
But this is coming at a
I
huge
almost
disruption
feel
to your own life. You
right.
know.
And I mean, the grocery delivery part is
Mhm.
really the and of course concern for Chris and Kaylin and my family members. I'm concerned for them because my mom is elderly. She's going to be 68 this year,
Mhm.
and my aunts and uncles, people I love, Chris, they're all going to be affected in some way or another.
Yeah.
But it's like how how can with all their the media is this many deaths, this many cases, this many that, and it's like
It's all numbers to them, and
okay,
to them, well, the media
yeah,
thinks only of
exactly,
numbers because they
yeah,
think of how
exactly,
high can
because they
our
want
ratings go. You
yeah,
know.
how big can our ratings go,
So they're
and
fueling
that
the hysteria.
yeah, they want to scare us. I'm sorry, but I don't trust the media,
Mhm.
and not to get into politics, but I don't trust any of the politicians either.
Well, yeah, I am totally on board with that. I agree. I mean, although politics is kind of the reason we're in this slump in a way, because there was such little reaction to the virus, not enough was done to protect the borders, and then people got sick. I mean, it went from where it originally was in China to Italy. I mean, bodies
Yeah,
just
and
piled up, and viruses
I
they
don't
spread.
think I didn't think that this would be as big as it got. I mean, looking back over
Yeah.
diary entries, private diary entries, one entry was like, just mentioning it in passing, and then it went right to, oh, we're in quarantine.
Yeah, it
And
just happened so fast.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's the
Yeah.
reason why people are reacting the way that they're reacting right now. Like some
Mhm.
people are just frozen, some people are just extremely depressed, because it was such a it was an abrupt oh, you got to stay home now. You know, it was so abrupt that nobody was prepared. Like the
I,
kids,
yeah,
as much
it's
as they're
just
getting all this online education stuff, but it's taken the school districts a few weeks to to deal with that. So they've fallen behind a little bit. So yeah.
um yeah,
So
that
I've
too.
been
But
wondering how
mhm.
much will change and how much will change permanently because of this and what it will be.
No,
yeah, I think that's a very valid question. Because when we do go back to work, it's almost going to feel like people are going to be afraid, kind of like I hate to use the term, but prisoners. Because when a prisoner is set free, they're almost like, wait, what? It's just a new life for them. They're going to be like, well, what do I do? How do I live? Because they get put on a bus and they basically go, out into the world again. So when we're released from this quarantine, then all of a sudden everyone's going to have to get their butt in gear, move all their offices back to their workplace. So it's going to be another huge rush of, oh my God, now we've got this going on. And, I mean, of course, everyone's going to be happy. From what I heard, vacations are going to be dirt cheap. Uh, I don't know if that's the
great.
case though. I mean, look on the bright
Mm.
side, because I've heard that some people are actually scared to go on cruises now, because rumor was that
Oh,
this came through cruise
yeah.
ships. Like a lot of the people that got these viruses came on cruise ships.
Because they
Um,
traveled and then yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Like
Mhm.
in California, it started in Northern California because there were cruise ships, and then of course it spread, and
Now
and it went
it
from, well,
has.
there's one case in California to now there's, I forget
I don't
how
know how
many
many
now.
cases.
It's over 1,000. In our valley alone, in our county, there's almost 500. So
I haven't checked in LA. I think LA is a little bit more.
Yeah,
And they
LA
say
is
that
probably
they
over the
say that New
over.
York has the I don't know why, but they say that New York has the biggest number of cases. Like
There's a
fifty
reason
Yeah.
why.
percent supposedly
There's a
is in
reason
New
because
York.
they live so close together. Um,
Yeah, and
People
New York City
need to
is
go out.
so New York City when you're talking about social distancing, I mean New York City they have the subways, they have I mean there's
Yes,
ample
Yeah, Chris was
that
opportunity
just
for the
saying that
virus
it's
to
all the
spread.
travel, all the transit options there. There's
transit.
all this opportunity.
Speaking
You
of
can't stay.
transit, I
Yeah.
think I'd like to move along to that subject. Speaking of transit, now transportation has
That's a
been
big one right here.
greatly affected. Some communities have no access to paratransit. Some have no
Mm-mm.
access to Uber and Lyft. I know of at least one friend who she has two kids. Her and her husband live all by themselves, and they are totally blind and they have no access to transportation at all. Transportation, paratransit's been disabled, ride sharing apps have been disabled, and their buses they are run at such a limited time that it doesn't really accommodate her schedule because she has to homeschool her kids now.
Oh,
So,
no. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
had to get
Jane.
a sorry.
How is Jane? I'm sure with you being in LA, you still have plenty of transportation options. You're
Uh, right now depends on the services. I live in a semi-rural area.
ooh.
I'm lucky though that I have Uber and Lyft, at least
Mm-hmm.
that, and
Yeah.
maybe some paratransit. But I, they are, I mean, they're not as limited. I'm kind of thankful that I can still go out and do things
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
partially, not all the way,
Yeah.
but a little expensive. No more full or the share
Yeah. The
rides
Uber pool,
anymore
all of
for
them have been
various
discontinued.
reasons.
Uh, so you can't split
Um,
rides with people. You have to take the ride by yourself.
uh,
Um,
yeah, they
yeah,
allowed that.
it's pretty crazy. Um, Jody, how about you? How has transportation been affected for you guys?
Well, we had an adventure with Instacart,
Uh
and
oh.
so I was going to go grocery shopping today, as much as I didn't want to, and turns out I didn't have to, thank God. But
Well, that's good.
I called our only cab company, and they operate
Mm.
out of New Hampshire, but they have an office here. And they said we're not operating. I'm sorry. I said please tell me you're still operating in our town. And they said no, I'm sorry, we're not operating today. And I'm like, oh God, please tell me you're operating tomorrow. She says I'm sorry. I don't know. We're going day to day. I really don't know. And I'm like, oh boy. So
Yeah.
it, she felt so bad. She didn't know. And I'm like, what do I
Oh.
do? And then I called my
Yeah.
neighbor, who usually I've been trying not to rely on her because she usually takes us grocery shopping. We have a so like we'll usually pay her for like gas, or we'll buy her some groceries too. And we've been trying not to because she's elderly, so we don't want to
Yeah.
expose her. But
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're desperate because we placed our Instacart cart order Sunday, and they said they wouldn't be able to deliver until Friday,
Ooh.
and they could not deliver. The store we ordered from actually ended up canceling our order after
Oh.
Oh
first it was
my
between noon
goodness.
and 2, then it was between like 2 and 3, and then 3:45 to 4:15, and then they just
Oh
kept pushing it
no.
back until finally it was between 10:30 to 11 p.m., and then they canceled the order and gave us back our money, thank
Oh.
God.
Oh.
And so I was like, okay, I need to go grocery shopping. We're out of everything except for vegetables. So I was like, and I called up my neighbor upstairs, and she said, well, let me refer you to this organization that has to do specifically with our town. And I did. I called them, and they got everything we needed. I was like, oh, thank God. And then all I had to do was pay him through PayPal.
Well, that's
It's
kind of cool that
good.
you have that option. You have a neighbor to
Yeah.
help you.
We don't
Like,
And then
often have
thankfully
that
for medical
option.
transportation, we still have our medical transportation.
yeah, I
So
was going to
Oh,
ask
that's not a
about
good.
that.
problem.
Like, has medical
How does
transportation
that
been
work?
affected?
No, thank
Um,
God that's still a
well,
viable
yeah,
option.
and it's a necessity for you guys, especially with Chris's health issues. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that your guys' medical transportation is still in good standing. But I'm sorry that see, you guys have no ride sharing out there at all, like even before COVID-19.
No, we actually had
No.
it said that Uber was available, but there's only one Uber driver who does it.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't even
wow.
know why they say Uber is available here because there's one Uber
What?
driver and he only does it when he feels like it. So every
Oh
time I
my
try to get an Uber, it
goodness.
says no cars are available.
oh, wow, 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 wow. Yeah, and then a lot of I had some issues with Uber. I had trouble getting rides because I had to go to the bank and make a deposit, or I had to go pick up Ashley's or my computer at Best Buy, and I would get the first two or three rides would cancel on me, or I would get drivers that were kind of rude that hadn't done it in a while, and they were just doing it because, well, all the old people are inside, so the young drivers are going to kind of, come out here. And I really feel bad, though, for one driver because she had come out here all because of Coachella Fest. Now, I'm not sure if all of you guys know, but Coachella Fest is a worldwide known event that happens here in our Coachella Valley. And everybody flocks from all over the world to see new and up and coming artists perform. So it's a big deal here. It's and also Stagecoach. That happens right after the 2 weeks of Coachella Fest, and that usually happens in May. So Uber drivers from San Diego, from LA, from out of state, they come to California because people flock here by the
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of thousands. And if you
Are
want
you
to
going to
make
be
a
able to have
killing,
Coachella Fest this year?
no, Coachella Fest has been postponed until October.
So
So
all
this
the
woman,
major ones.
yeah, this woman moved down with her daughter. She was a single parent. Uh, she had a high stench of marijuana in her car. It was pretty
Oh
bad.
my
But
goodness.
she basically was banking on coming down here and making money off of Uber. And she's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to
Wow.
do now that it's been canceled. So a lot of transportation industries are really being affected to the point where people that really depend on them can't really depend on them. Um, I've had drivers say, well, when I'd go to run an errand, they'll be like, well, Uber said that they may stop us in an hour, so I don't even know if you're going to get a ride home. And I'm like, oh, great.
They
Luckily,
have
I
not said
was
that
able to
to
get a
me,
ride home.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
When we did
I
take
know it's still bad.
yeah, when we did take paratransit, because I had to take Ashley to go get her blood work, the first seat behind the driver on the driver's side was blocked off. So, because they didn't want you sitting that close to the driver because of the whole social
Mm-hmm.
distancing thing. But none of the other seats were blocked off. So, I guess I don't know. It was so weird. It was so surreal to get on this bus and find, like areas
It's almost
blocked
like the
off.
police cars because when I
Yeah.
was little, my mom we had a car accident. And thank God no one was hurt. But a policeman drove us home because the car was not able to be driven, and I noticed that mesh thing that blocks the police cars from the people or the policemen from the people in the back.
Yeah. I think that's done more for the safety, like, so they don't try to hurt the police officer.
Yeah, yeah,
Because if the police officer's driving, they could hurt the police officer and then they could crash the car or whatever. I think that's done mainly for safety, but yeah, pretty
yeah.
much the same thing. I mean, it was just fenced off, and it's like it was Zappa's favorite seat too. So like he could easily slide under the tape, and I'm like, no, you can't go there. So and that he didn't understand. So But yeah, it's pretty crazy out there. Getting transportation has been incredibly tough. Now
Somebody, I forget who it was, said that we're living in a Stephen King world. And Stephen King, I follow him on Twitter, and he said, I wish we weren't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah, the lady that I told you guys about who had her daughter and who was depending on making money with Coachella Fest, she also was adapting this attitude. And I agree that we shouldn't be overly scared because the media wants you to be scared because, of course, you're going to want to tune in and get all the latest info. But at the same time, people should not take a nonchalant approach to this.
Oh, don't do
this. Because there are people who are dying.
No.
And this lady
and
was
they're throwing corona parties.
Yeah. Well, and then this lady's like, well, it's just a cold. You know, and the reason
no,
it's not just a cold.
This is not just a cold.
Yeah. And she's like, well, the reason why the virus came over here is because people in China, they're not clean. You know, they just do it on the street. They go to the bathroom. They do number 2 on the street. And I'm like,
no,
I don't know if that's true. I mean, I don't know if they're... I do know that from what I've heard, their sanitation, they don't have strict sanitation policies like we do. But I find it hard to believe that people are just popping a squat in the middle of the street. You know,
no,
I
they don't do this.
So she's taking such a nonchalant approach to like, oh, it ain't gonna happen to me. And that is also what's overwhelming.
And they have all these ridiculous theories out there too about how and why this came to be.
Yeah,
someone told me that the proverbial they say that they started it to cut down the population the way they used to kill the baby girls.
That's not true.
I don't believe that.
Whatever.
I don't believe that.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that any more than I believe that there was something else that somebody. I don't believe that any more than I believe Trump could have stopped the virus from coming here. It's ridiculous.
Viruses are nasty
and
they spread.
They will spread.
They are, and they can survive for hours in the air. They can survive for a few days on surfaces. So it's not. I mean, these viruses are just I think the problem is everybody underestimates them. You know, we may hope and pray while we're doing all the precautions. We're hopefully not going to get in contact with this virus, but it's the virus. It's such an invisible threat that, you know, there are so many reactions to, like when we had war. If you didn't have the war in your neck of the woods, it didn't affect you until somebody got killed in your family, and all of a sudden, oops. You know, or then you have the people that overly panic, like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And, you know, it's just, that's the way we are at war right now with this virus. And that's how people are reacting. And unfortunately, it's throwing everything for us into complete disarray. So, that is quite unfortunate. So my next subject, and I'm going to turn to Jody for this to start off first, is education, and how education changes have affected you guys. The reason I'm starting out with Jody is because she has a child, so I think it's a very insightful perspective to get input from a parent who has had to deal with not only their own quarantine issues, but, you know, having to try to explain to their kids, you know, what's going on, why is mommy, you know, why can't I go to school today, or whatever. That's got to be hard. And I can only imagine, you know, me being a dog mom, Zappa has been very upset that he hasn't been able to go to work. But, you know, you can't explain to them. Whereas Jody, like other parents, has a, you know, two-legged furry, well, not furry, but two-legged human to
furry. I do have a furry child, but it's not my two-legged one.
She does have a furry child. That, you know what, I
two, actually.
you have two furry children, because Neil, even though he's Chris's dog, you're his doggy mom. Yeah, I did that once because Ashley calls Zappa her furry nephew.
And Chris just said, hey, I'm not furry. No, I was talking about Neil.
Chris just said, hey, I'm not furry. We weren't referring to Chris. We weren't referring to Chris. Oh my God. No, that was too funny. And he's not even your child. So unless he doesn't obey, you can say, Chris, come. No. I mean, see, it's fun to make light of stuff like this. But yeah, I once called Ashley, I meant to say Zappa's your furry nephew. And I said, well, you're his furry aunt.
That's okay. I called Kaylin Fallon once.
You called Kaylin Falla? Falla's your dog, so.
Aww.
Oh,
one time I talked to my husband, and I said, I meant to tell Jeremy, can you get Zappa's bed out? I said, Zappa, can you get Jeremy's bed out? So that happens. And then Jeremy, I don't know if he was half asleep, but last week I told him, can you get Zappa's bed out for me? And he's like, okay, boy. And I'm like, wait. Did you just call me boy? And so we were giving him hell for it. Oh, it was so funny.
To see Beauty and the Beast, you were trying to call Jeremy.
Uh-huh.
And you almost said, Zappa, come. And you said, Jeremy, come.
Yeah, I did. I said, Jeremy, come.
My friend's grandmother did that to me once when I got a phone call at his house.
She said, Jody, come.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So Jody, why don't you take a few moments to describe, like, the education system? How is Kaylin adjusting to it? How are you adjusting to it? Like, how is it affecting you?
Well, she's been home since March 18th, and it's interesting because they send her home with a work packet, and then once a week her teacher calls and FaceTimes her, and so she is she got a bit mixed up on her math because she loves math, but she got a bit mixed up on the dates. She thought she was supposed to do all of the English and then do all the math. So she had to catch up on a few days of math, but she did it. She caught up all in one day. I don't know how she managed to do that, but I would have torn all my hair out. But
I know, right?
Did it.
Kaylin's brave.
I hate math, but she loves it.
She loves math.
I know.
You should consider signing her up for like STEM. They have programs for STEM women. STEM, by the way, stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. So if she ever wants a career, she should sign up for like a STEM scholarship when she does go to college. But how old is she now, of course? She's 8. Yeah, a little bit young to be thinking about college, but I mean, that's a possibility. You know, if she loves math.
Yeah, definitely.
You should consider it because they're trying to get. Well, hello, Chris. His burp was recorded. He has been documented in history. Oh, don't worry about it. I had an ASMR video that I was doing with Zappa the other night, or an audio, and Ashley burped in the background really, really loud.
I know, I heard that.
Yes, I heard that too.
So, yeah. But
actually, there are programs right now for children that are free. You can go online.
Really?
Yes, that they're...
Are they like for
seeing
STEM?
them around? Yes, all sorts of.
I've been seeing a lot of like, hey, if you're a woman who's interested in STEM, get a scholarship, because they're trying to get more women into like the science, technology, engineering, and math, because everybody thinks, oh, it's a man's world, and it's like, if Kaylin loves that sort of thing, that's something you got to consider.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, she's doing fairly well. There's just a few, like, some of the sneakiness has come back, like hiding things in her room that she's not supposed to have.
Oh, no.
But other than that, she's not making messes anymore like she used to, like with the
behavior.
Food. She's just, yeah. But we're keeping in touch with her teacher and her counselor, her guide, so we have the support system now.
Well, that's good. So Kaylin's getting all the help she needs. Now, how is it with you? Like, did you feel like you weren't going to be able to handle the whole school system in a
No,
way?
because no, because well, we were a bit worried that because we can't check her work, but
Yeah. Oh,
her
yeah.
teacher FaceTimes her, and that's how she checks her work.
That's good. Like, I really hope teachers are getting paid well during this whole thing because, I mean, that's a lot of calls they're going to have to make, checking up on their kids, and some of them,
Yeah, I
like,
know,
they
and
don't
the good
do,
thing
they
is
don't.
we have her school on Facebook,
Oh,
so
yeah. Well, I'm sure that helps out a lot, having her school on Facebook. But not a
yeah,
lot of these teachers are, like, so intimate with technology with kids this young, you know? But these kids are so smart.
I
Yesterday,
know it's scary.
yeah, it is kind of scary. Yesterday, my IHSS worker, she came over and did a cleaning, and she was telling me, well, I have to come a little late because um, her son had to take a Zoom class, and it was his first time. So she just showed him how to do it, and he's like, I got it. It's like you just only have to show
Oh,
them
that's
once, and I'm like,
one time.
just with me,
That's
I have like the memory of an ancient Mayan artifact. You have to show me a few times. So these kids, they are so smart,
yes.
So I think in a one, in a good way, these kids are they're going to be the next generation of very smart individuals because they've had to adapt to so much in this crazy crisis. I think it's going to make very good
I wonder
kids out
how
of them.
much they're gonna remember. I mean, especially the young ones, Kaylin's age and younger, how much they're
Yeah.
gonna remember about this and what's gonna stick out for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, me
I'm
too.
afraid Kaylin asked me to take her to the park today, and I couldn't because I had to come back inside and take a med. But and it would have wasn't enough time. But I'm afraid to take her to the park because I'm not even sure the parks are open in Vermont.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the
you could
park
at least
isn't
take her
very
for a walk,
far.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know because I'm afraid to leave the complex unless I
Yeah.
absolutely have to. But
Well,
she
they're
got bored just
allowing
riding her bike around the complex.
yeah, they're allowing people to do like essential like exercise is considered essential. So like maybe taking her for a little walk around the park, maybe that like in areas that you're comfortable with, that might work. Because yeah, it is a lot for these kids to adjust. Like Zappa and I, we hardly leave the complex. We only left the other day to take Ashley to get her blood work, and he was so happy just to get out of the house. He's like, "Wait, you're putting the harness on? What?" You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So kids and dogs. Oh, um, my heart really though, you guys. My heart really, really, really goes out to the mentally disabled.
Yeah, I was just
Um,
about to say they don't understand this stuff.
yeah, they
It's a
don't
very
understand. We have a friend of ours who is she's an adult. She's mentally disabled, but she like sometimes wants to come and hang out with us, but she doesn't
yeah.
understand the quarantine, and it's not like she can't, it's not like she doesn't understand. It's no fault of her own that she doesn't understand. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So we
Hello.
have somebody who popped into the discussion.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Joe. Can I be heard?
Yeah, you can be heard. Um,
Thank you.
and you have your little daughter with you. How are you doing?
We're surviving. Right now she's fighting bedtime and she doesn't want to listen.
Oh,
I
it's
remember that
interesting.
age.
How old is she again? Is she 3 or 4?
She's 3.
She's 3. Oh, so yeah, we're actually in a very interesting conversation right now because we talked about like general health concerns. We've talked about transportation, and now we're talking about education, and we're discussing how it's affected different people. And Jody, who's one of the people here on this discussion tonight, was just talking
Hi.
about. Yep, there she is. Was just talking about um, what's been going on with her daughter, because she has a daughter who's 8 years old and is currently in school, and how these kids have been affected. And now parents who do have disabilities have to step up now and be more proactive and make sure that these kids, do not only their homework but their schoolwork. So,
And I'm in training too for updating my computer skills, because I've been out of work for a while, and so my computer skills are kind of out of date for employability. So when she does her work, I do mine too.
Yeah, well, that's actually a very good idea. To do your own training as she's doing her work. Now, is Lila in any type of school system or program or preschool or anything? Not yet, huh?
Oh, no, she goes to preschool. Well, she went to preschool because she also has
that changed?
sensory processing disorder. And so in her mind, school is closed, so mommy shouldn't have to do homework either. And a lot of the...
My goodness.
Yes, I'm studying pre-kindergarten care and education.
Oh, wow, good for you.
I have a background in this, in family studies. This is fun.
Jane is also, she's in her master's right now in family studies, children and family studies.
Actually, no, my undergrad was in that, so I know that age very well. I love
but
that.
a lot of the apps I'm finding are not accessible for me, and so I'm having a hard time helping her. Plus, I never was taught print letters, so
yes, and that's a huge thing, isn't it?
Yeah, she has a set of magnetic letters, and she'll hand them to me. Mommy, what letter is this? Mommy doesn't know.
Mommy doesn't know. Wow,
this may not happen with the letters thing, but when I was attending college and I had to take my math requirements, they had something called Math Window, and it's actually they're little magnetic tiles that have the braille and the print number.
You know
on
what?
them.
I have seen them. I don't know where you get them.
Yeah, it comes with this board. It's a magnetic board.
It is so cool, though.
Yeah, and you don't have to get the algebraic stuff because she's obviously too young for that. But
that's
it's
fine.
But if we could find some way, to find Math Window, so that when she does start doing her addition and subtraction and stuff, you can at least help her with that. Because you can work with the magnetic tiles. They're fun, because the kids see the letters and numbers, and then they get to put magnets on the board. And it really helped me out in college, because the teacher could, because I had to do my math on the computer, but I didn't have any scratch paper. And you couldn't bring a brailler into class because it made way too much noise. So when my professor actually found Math Window, told the disabled students programs and services about it, they ordered it right away. And I said I could set up my equations, and because the tiles had print on them, the teacher could come by and said, okay, here's what you did wrong. And with scratch paper, you're ripping it up, throwing it away. Oops, I did that wrong. So you're wasting paper. With this, you just move the magnetic tiles around. So,
I wish I knew about that when I was in college.
Similar.
I know. See,
I want this now,
Yeah, well, that could be something. So if she gets to that could be something for Kaylin too, Jody. If she gets to a higher level and has difficulty with her math,
Lila, put the toys away.
Find out if maybe your school system or somebody in your maybe Commission for the Blind or something can help you purchase Math Window, because it is a little on the expensive side. I think it's only a few $100. But then again, it's not like a $5,000 braille display. But I would definitely look at Math Window.
Yeah,
and this goes for anyone on our podcast. Definitely check out Math Window. It's I believe the company name is Wolf Products.
The doggy can't get in here.
In fact, we can find
well, she
some
has
resources
something very
for
similar.
this.
She has a magnetic board, but it's also a dry erase board.
Oh, that's cool.
Those are fun.
It comes with magnetic letters and numbers. They're uppercase and lowercase, and then the letters and stuff.
But it's only print, though, huh?
I'm trying to find somebody, but nobody wants to come assist me put Braille on them, because then that would be so perfect.
Oh God, I would love to do this for you, but because I know my print letters, I was taught with block.
Do you have a Braille labeler? Do you have a Braille labeler?
I did.
Oh.
Melissa, you probably know a little bit more. I don't know who else is in here, but if you remember when I left Lila's FATHER, I had to leave a lot of that stuff behind because of the situation in which we left.
Well, if there's anything we can do to help you get a labeler or whatever, let me know. I mean,
even
the main.
I have a labeler. I can.
Well, the main. I mean, if there's anything, like if I can help in any way. See, now this is the one positive thing about the quarantine with coronavirus. I normally spend about $200 a month on transportation because our bus doesn't accommodate the university. So I used some of that money to donate to some coronavirus funds, and I'm also using some of that money to help other people. And now I can't be like, well, here's your $1 million, blah, blah, blah. God, I wish. I don't have that kind of money. But, like, I'm trying to do what I can to help people, and if I can help with a little tiny bit, for once, if I can help you get a labeler, what you can do is get Ira on the phone and do those free 5-minute calls.
Yes.
Or if you can do it for student reasons and say, like, well, this is for my daughter's education, can you help me Braille label these letters?
And they will support
Yeah, if we can get a labeler for you.
Right, and
I'd love to help you.
I'm actually paying somebody. I paid this guy to drive me when I was at school just because I have the same issue as you, and the way they did my daughter's class, she couldn't take the bus in the morning, and so I'm not paying him as much. But if I could get a Braille labeler again, then I'm sure he'd actually have fun with it.
Can we help you with that?
Well, yeah,
I was
seriously, like, serious. If you want to discuss,
you have what, baby?
I have Windows too.
You have
so
Windows
cute.
too?
Oh my goodness.
Aww.
You are one adorable.
Do you want to come say hi?
Yeah.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hi,
So
Lila.
cute.
Hi, I'm Yada.
Hi.
Hi, Lila.
How old are you?
How sweet.
Say, I'm 3 years old.
I feel
Oh my goodness.
Where do you live?
play school.
No, you don't.
You live in preschool. They asked her where she lived, Ashley, and she said, I live in preschool.
Where do you live, Lila?
My roommate's also here.
Number 3.
She just can't hear us because I have headphones on, so we don't blow everyone's ears out with my speakers. So, but yeah.
Lila,
but
what town do you live in?
In San Ohio.
Very good.
I think your brain needs rest.
Yes.
If you want to ride your bike tomorrow, you got to go night-night.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Give me a kiss.
Oh.
Night-night. It's not very big, but we have a balcony, so I'm teaching her to ride on that first.
Hey, still,
How cute.
that's adorable.
Aw.
We learned on a balcony too when I was a kid.
Really? Seriously?
Yes.
Aw.
I learned in the hallway of a classroom in the school.
Oh, that's
And
fun.
I had
learned it-
training wheels on.
Yep, me too.
Oh, my
I
first
never
place
got
to
off
ride a
training
bike.
wheels. I always wanted to.
Me neither. I loved it so much
Yeah,
though because
Yeah, my first place where they actually worked with bike riding on me was in the parking lot of an ophthalmologist's office. And it's funny that I was a blind kid.
What always
yeah,
fascinated me about training wheels was there was this one piece of our backyard where it would get stuck in the grass.
Oh.
So it was kind of like an exercise bike. I could go as fast as I wanted, and I would just go nowhere, so I never would crash into anything.
oh,
Oh. So yeah, let us know like if we
Yeah,
can
you're on my
help.
Twitter. We can discuss it. And
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if
I'll-
the other
I'll,
people on here have Twitter, or I'm also
No,
on
that's
your.
okay.
I do too.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
So,
I do.
But we can discuss it.
Yeah, just ask
We
us.
can discuss it and see if I can find a labeler for you. and see if I could have it shipped to your place. Like if I go through, I don't know if Maxi Aids or anything. I don't know if Amazon, although Amazon is actually getting very, very accommodating with Braille. Like recently our microwave went out and we had
Future Aids might have it too.
Oh,
Yeah,
Future
I
Aids.
like
Thanks,
Future Aids.
Thanks for the...
I didn't know
that's,
about that
that's
one.
what I love about this discussion is we're all networking and we're all trying to help each other out. That was the whole point of it. It's really going very well. But yeah, that's what we could do. If we can get her a Braille labeler, she could label the backs of those letters and hope Lila doesn't peel them off. And
No,
so
actually, she
can...
finds Braille interesting, so I don't think...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She might be able to learn Braille too, like this.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, Kaylin has learned it now too. I just have to teach her how to use the Brailler.
Oh, really?
Yes, I have a Braille writer too at home.
I think most of us do. In fact, I need to send mine out to get repaired.
No, I was never given one when I got out of high school.
I had to buy one
serious?
physically. I had to buy one on eBay. They sell Braille writers. Yes.
Wow.
I actually had to physically buy one, which is good because it was in working condition. I'm still able to use it, but my Braille writer, they never gave me one after high school either.
Well, there's a guy here in California. He charges only $40 to repair Braillers.
Oh wow!
I need mine.
I kid you not. So if you have a Brailler, Jane, I could always get that info to you if you're ever interested in getting your Brailler fixed. And the only thing is the way he accepts his money is via cash or check, and it goes into the box with the Brailler.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
So
that's okay.
Yeah,
I can do that. But after the
so he doesn't do credit card payments. That kind of scares me a little bit because some people actually put cash in the mail in the boxes, and my aunt tried to send me cash through FedEx, and the driver stole it. Like when I got the package was empty.
Wow.
So that I would, I don't know. I don't feel like. I mean, I don't recommend it, but the point is he comes highly, highly recommended. And if
duct tape it to the bottom of the Braille writer so that nobody would know it's under there.
That's true. That's true.
Put it in an envelope,
like if he's going to repair it, hide it in the little compartment and be like, "Hey, here's the."
Yes. And if he reads
Braille, and then just call him or email him and tell him that's where it is, so he knows to look there.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But yeah, he repairs Braillers, and if he has any used ones, he usually sells them for like a couple $100. And of course he repairs them and patches them up real well. But my husband actually donated his Brailler along with another Brailler that was donated to the Czech Republic, because there's a blind teacher in there who had a classroom full of blind people. And she needed Braille writers. She didn't have the kind of resources. So my husband, along with a few other people, donated Braillers. And so we went, because the Brailler needed to be repaired. My husband's Brailler needed to be fixed. So they took him to Ed Burgess, and he just repaired them, and then they shipped them out to the Czech Republic. And so I thought it was really, really cool.
I bet that took a long time.
Yeah. But she got the Braillers, and she had at least 2 from us, and I don't know how many other Braillers came in, but she, got a lot of help, and I think that's the great thing about the internet is being able to reach out and help people, and I think that's the biggest thing right now. So before we change subjects, we have yet to hear from Jane. Like me, she's a college student, and not only are the K-12 people affected, but college students have been immensely affected.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think all of us in here are college students. Well, Jody at least did go to college, but I think everyone in here is either going or has gone to college, right?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went from having 1 online class because it was forced on me to having 4 online classes.
Oh,
yes,
no.
and that's a challenge.
And how's the software?
That's a challenge.
The software is not a problem. The problem that I've been having is like when we do like our discussions and they throw graphs and pictures and stuff in there that I have
that's
to.
A big
and that's
thing.
not accessible.
Yes. That is not accessible. No.
Oh.
Um,
Oh.
Yeah, this is beginning to be a problem. See, for me, I am a master's student. I go to a well-known university that has thankfully have actually have accessibility in mind, but no access to crucial things has and is becoming a huge issue. So not only document accessibility, but you're talking about inaccessible software, and I know like it's frustrating. We need the contents,
What
but a
about
lot of
textbooks?
textbooks, yeah, as well. But it's just that a lot of teachers and professors don't know anything about document accessibility, so we
Oh
can't
no.
exactly approach these subjects right now. But we need the documents accessible
Yeah.
to us, and so in my field, we need to, we teach them about how
Yeah.
much can we exactly teach them without they might not,
Yeah, and some professors
know.
they don't know what all this online mumbo jumbo is about having
Yeah.
accessible stuff. Um, so yeah, that has definitely been a huge challenge for a lot of college students who, they have to deal with inaccessible software. A lot of them are not really familiar with Zoom. I've been
Yeah,
familiar with Zoom
that's a
because
big
I've
thing.
been using it for other groups and other things, but a lot of students are finding it very, very hard to deal with.
Welcome to Victor Reader.
Whoa,
Hello.
Hello.
the Zoom. By the way, Jack, we are recording, so
Connected to Wi-Fi.
Sorry, I forgot to mute.
yeah,
Wait.
be careful with that. Whoops.
I am so sorry. That was a mistake.
No, that's okay. Anyways, guys, this is Jack.
Sorry.
So we've got...
I
Jack's
have a
SD card.
problem with Zoom. The problem I'm having is I have an instructor who's insistent on using Google Docs. And then from what I've been
Google
reading,
Docs
Google
is
Docs
hard.
is not, yeah.
I can
Well,
help
yeah,
you with
it's-
Google Docs.
Google Docs
good.
has accessibility built into it, but it's...
They do, yes.
Yeah, they have their...
It's
Yeah.
a very
boxes built
finicky
into it.
thing.
It is.
I can help you though. I have used Google Docs for collaborations. I know the keystrokes. If you get in touch with me, I'll be able to help you.
Aren't you glad you connected to this discussion, Joel? Because...
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, crap, I missed it.
No. There is a
but
specific
you've got
way
people here
you can
who are
do
willing
this.
to help. And that's what this discussion
I know
is
this
meant
stuff.
to do.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, yeah, if anybody can help me with Google Docs too, I'd be like, yeah. I should like
Simon,
open up
let me know what you
TeamTalk
need
and,
with.
like, do. Yeah, I should open up TeamTalk and do training courses. I think that might be helpful for people. Oh wow. Okay, so my next subject and probably my final one, because I think this is the biggest challenge of them all, and then I want to start going from challenges to coping techniques. And that's going to be like my final closing. But my biggest one is obtaining essentials and food. So this is affecting everybody with a disability, not just those who have kids or who are currently enrolled in an education program. This is affecting everybody, period. And obtaining supplies... now I'm going to start with Jack because he hasn't had much time to put input into this discussion. How has, and I know you have a different arrangement. You live with family, correct?
I now do. I was on college campus before.
Oh, wait, so you were attending college campus, or college, and you got sent home because of the COVID-19.
Yeah, it was not originally planned. It was not originally in the cards.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. So how has it been for you guys to obtain your supplies? Have you had some issues and things?
For us, it's been okay. For me, for the few days before I was moving out, it was takeout only at a dining hall. So fortunately, there was one right in our basement, and there would always be someone available to help get a container and stuff like that. It would just be takeout only. It wouldn't be anything else.
Yeah.
But then I had to get sent home. So for a few days, it was like that.
Yeah.
Probably would have been if I would have stayed longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was even one university that's had some controversy because they've continued to hold classes despite all the orders for them to send for people to go home. So,
What?
yeah, I believe it was Liberty University, and students are now testing positive for COVID-19.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Well, that's kind of hello.
Yeah.
If students.
Yeah.
Well, Jody, you've been, I know you've been kind of just listening and offering input whenever, so I want to try to get some input from you. With you having a child and 2 dogs, because let's not forget about pets. They are quite a challenge for this time, and not that the dogs are pets, they're guides, but a dog is still a dog, and they still need the same grooming and pet care that they need. So she's got 2 dogs, her fiance with health issues, and her child. So that's a lot to take on your plate. So how has the acquiring of supplies and things been for you?
Well, I told you about my our Instacart story. So we did order some things from Schwann's, and they were prompt with their delivery. That was right on schedule. Instacart was the problem, and I've heard, and I wasn't sure if it was a rumor or not, but someone else told me that it was on the news. So apparently they're on strike.
Yeah, they
They
went
are.
on strike. They went on strike because of the workers were not being given adequate protective gear. And I don't know. I do have a little bit of mixed feelings about that, because I do believe
So do
that
I.
these workers should be protected.
Oh yeah.
Because they're going into people's houses.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that's anything to strike over. Honestly, if I believe
They can do no
that they
contact.
should-
All they have to do
Right,
is
why can't they
drop
just
off
leave it
and-
outside the
and
door?
Yeah,
ring the
they
bell.
could do no contact. They could leave it at the door. And
Just like Amazon
they are
Fresh
risking
does.
a
They
lot,
don't
but it's like,
need to.
if you continue to work, you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
So
Yeah.
use that money to buy this protective gear.
Yeah.
I mean, and
there's
and
any
if
I
left
just
in the
think
buy
with
the
her.
protective gear to begin with, because people are having a hard time getting a hold of masks, sanitizers,
Yeah.
hand soap.
Yeah,
you know?
because all the hoarders have taken it, honestly. I mean,
And honestly, I believe as an Instacart driver, you would have a pretty good advantage, because
Well, hello,
if your
yeah.
customers request essentials,
You're
like,
in
you
the
could go
store,
to the
you can
store
get them
and-
too.
get them for yourself,
You
too.
can get 'em
Yeah.
You can get them yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
like, and even if an Instacart driver actually came up to me and said, "I'm out of toilet paper. Do you mind if I purchase a roll or a pack under your name?" I'd be like, "Sure, go ahead." I mean, I
Right.
know that's probably not ethical, but I would do
Well-
anything to help people.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
what
anything.
they've
At this point,
done-
whatever can help.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they've done is they have closed off probably a good chunk, I would say a good 40 to 50% chunk, maybe even more, of the people who benefit from their services.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need these services.
Yes.
There are some people who are isolated at home who don't have the luck of, neighbors who can take them grocery shopping, or IHSS workers like I do.
Right.
Once every 2 weeks we go out and we get groceries.
Or people who can
still-
just jump in their car and go.
Yeah,
I wish we can
not
do
enough
this, but we
people-
can't
Yeah.
do. Just
Yeah.
jump in
Well,
our cars
even
and
the people
go.
that aren't disabled, they're elderly, they're isolated, they're at home.
Yeah,
And they're
They're
scared
not
to get
getting-
in their car and go.
they're scared to
Yeah,
go.
they're not getting adequate care, and it's
Yeah.
not. It's not fair to them. So
Yeah.
having an
No, it
Instacart,
isn't.
And then you have
or any
people who
other-
are just taking everything. I was watching Live
Everything.
PD with Chris last night, and they had fights. The crime of the week was fights over water and hand sanitizer and toilet paper.
What?
They were actually fighting
yeah,
over it.
people
What
with
is-
fights over water and toilet paper, and And then those who, I'm sorry, but these people, there's a place in where for them are hoarding stuff, and then they go and they sell it to people
For $100. Yeah.
like
Who
marking
was
up
it? Who was it? Pastor
Price
Pastor
gouging.
Rick Warren. Pastor Rick Warren had a one of his sermons last week. He saw a bottle of hand sanitizer on TV for $100.
Yeah.
How ridiculous is that?
That is crazy.
Oh my goodness.
That is
Yeah.
crazy. Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
It's interesting to me how kids, like, you don't think they think about things like this, but we had gone grocery shopping, and I have to take her with me because I'm a single mother, and
Yeah, I understand.
So we get home, and she's playing later. She goes, "Mommy, let's play store." And I said, "Okay." She goes, "Don't worry, Mommy. My store has lots of toilet paper."
You were the one that tweeted that.
Yes.
Okay, now I have to follow you on Twitter.
Now I need to follow you on Twitter.
Oh,
And it was
that
like,
is
Oh
so cute.
no.
Yeah, I think
That
you're
is.
you're giving Jody like a feeling of nostalgia. I can almost sense it. Oh,
Yes. Oh.
oh, that is so cute. Yeah. So, for us when we do go shopping with our worker. Yeah, I've seen shelves upon shelves upon shelves. It's not just essentials. Meat is going out of style too. They are like swiping meat like nobody's business.
Yeah, I know.
too.
And yeah, and when Chris and I were doing the Instacart shopping last Sunday, he searched for toilet paper and he searched for paper towels, which we need. And he could not.
Yeah.
Everything was out of stock. Every brand of toilet paper, every brand of paper towels. He found
Like, even
paper
the
towels on
cheap
Amazon,
brands.
which hopefully they'll be in stock when I think they were because we got our
Amazon
our,
is
our,
having
sh-
shipment
our
problems.
shipment managed to go through. But we had to rely on a friend to give us toilet paper, for God's sakes. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instacart didn't end up delivering anyway. We had to rely on an organization to get us our groceries.
Yeah.
But,
And
I mean-
their resources are also stretched thin. A lot of these organizations are trying to help people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something else. I wanted
They
to
actually
say, I can't remember
genuinely
what it was.
mean well too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do, but
Um,
it takes a lot. It takes.
Oh, I know what I wanted
like
to
how they
say.
say, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
It takes a village to raise a village at this
Yeah.
point.
Right. But there was
Actually,
and I'm
I
seeing
was
these.
just at the
Sorry.
store. Sorry, no, go ahead.
Okay, say what you wanted to say, Jody. I'm sorry.
I'm seeing these tweets about, like, there was one where and this one actually did make me laugh. There was this woman who sees this guy with a pallet of 5 packs of toilet paper rolls, and she goes, "I hope you're proud of yourself, sir." And she starts filming him, and the guy gives her a funny look, starts to put the toilet paper on the shelves, and when he reveals his name tag, he was a stalker. He was stalking the shelves.
Oh,
And then another one where these elderly people are trying to get into the store, and this young man comes in, and he's trying to get into the store too, and they're beating him
Oh, I
back.
love that
yeah,
one.
I
They're
saw
beating
that.
him back. And he goes, "Hey,
I
if you guys
remember
don't let me unlock the door, nobody's going to get in."
Exactly.
You tweeted that,
So, like,
Melissa. I remember that.
Yeah, I tweeted that.
Yes,
it's,
I
it's
saw
because
this.
people are now like it all comes down to survival. So
Uh-huh.
like when they see
And
a
you
young
know what
person
that
trying to
reminded
get
me
into a
of?
line of elderly people.
Yeah, and that one actually, that for some reason, that part about the elderly people beating back the man with the younger man, for some reason, that reminded me of Under the Dome by Stephen King.
Oh, The Dome by Stephen King. Yeah, every apocalyptic or scary novel is like. I mean, I don't think even Stephen King could have come up with.
No,
Although there is-
I don't
overdoes
think
Stephen
he could
King.
either. He actually keeps tweeting,
This outdoes.
"This is not the stand. This is not the stand," and people are making Hunger Games jokes.
Well, isn't the lady that's I know my roommate Ashley, she's been kind of quiet too. There's she's kind of obsessed with the Hunger Games. And didn't you tell me the other day that there's a rumor that Suzanne Collins is actually using the coronavirus to create a series?
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know, my driver actually got reprimanded by a store manager the other day because
Why?
because we weren't 6 feet apart. I mean, we take precautions, like I push the cart and he goes in front of the cart and steers it.
You know
So
what?
we're
That's
not
a good
like
point. That's
That is
another
a very good.
point
No,
that
social
you bring
distancing
up.
is not always an
Yeah,
option
this
for people.
this is crazy.
that's-
If we can't
wow.
see the markers on the store floors, how are we?
Well, and not only
supposed
that, but
to-
what if a person can't use a cane and needs a caregiver to go and take them shopping?
Yeah.
So
I
that-
was
if-
just at the store the other day. Wow, that store experience, it has to be.
Did they understand once the driver explained to them, like, I'm helping her?
he goes, "What do you want her to do? Take out her glass eyes? Maybe then she can see better."
Oh no!
Wow.
He walked
Nice.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Nice.
That is crazy.
Wow.
So one of the biggest, hardest challenges that we're all facing, and I think not only is our physical health very important, but our mental health, and it's this isolation.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother asking how it's affecting people because I know it hurts people. I know what it's doing to me. I can only imagine what it's doing to you. I know it's hurting my guide dog. He's been wanting to go to the mall. He hears conversations about Macy's or the Apple store, and he wags his tail at the TV like, "Can we go? Can we go?" And he wants to go so bad to Macy's. Macy's is his favorite store. Like, I don't even have to tell him to take me to Macy's. He sees the giant M on Macy's, and I think that's why. Yeah, I think that's why he kind of gets. He likes McDonald's too because of the giant M, or like what they call the golden arches.
Yeah.
Because it's a big M like Macy's, and it probably smells interesting to him because it's McDonald's. But personally,
Oh, speaking
I
of
don't
McDonald's,
McDonald's,
of course.
did you see my tweet about the ice cream cone yesterday?
No, what was that about?
So we went through McDonald's drive-thru when we were getting our essentials, and it was kind of a warm day, and I have a hormone disorder, so I overheat, so I wanted an ice cream cone. And they told me they wouldn't sell me an ice cream cone because of the pandemic. Yeah.
What? I mean,
Why?
Come on,
What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, my mom.
we're losing
my
a
mom
lot
had
of
this
comforts.
one
Must we
day.
lose ice cream too?
Yeah.
I can't
Ice
believe, Joe, that they refused to sell you an ice cream cone at
I was
McDonald's.
so
because of-
sad.
That's a travesty.
What?
Ugh. Like,
That's
if
a
you were here
travesty.
Right now, I would order you a triple scoop from Baskin Robbins because
yeah.
they still deliver. So, I just wanted to close off with just some coping suggestions or some coping techniques that we can all try. The first thing is, of course, the networking. You want to keep that going. You want to keep it strong. If you can help somebody, help them. Money isn't the only thing you can give. You know, there are so many valuable things. Your time, you could give a lending ear, and help, you know, them maybe listen to their problems. Kind of like what we did here. Everybody was talking about their challenges, and no doubt this crisis is extremely frustrating for a lot of people. Another great thing to do is if you have a hobby that you've always wanted, like for example, I've always wanted a podcast, and I got a podcast started. Now, if you can't afford a podcasting plan, like Podbean does offer unlimited podcasting plans. You can either do like a yearly plan or a monthly plan. If you can't afford that, Podbean does offer free podcasts. You only get like, I think 100 megabytes per month. I'm not sure, but there are some great, and Anchor, of course, is a free podcasting service. So there are ways out there of getting your voice heard. If you can, get your hands on a journal, because journaling is definitely a great coping technique. One of the things that was pretty interesting when that musical Hamilton came out, one of the themes that one of our English professors used is she called it writing my way out. And it doesn't just mean, you know, writing your way out into the masses. It doesn't just mean that. It means writing your way out of depression, writing your way out of sadness, writing your way out of the isolation that you feel. Some people may find writing to be a solace. Some people may not. There are audio journals. Day One does support an audio journal system, but if you can't get Day One, there's always phone recording apps. You can set up a phone recording system in Dropbox and record some files. There is a free recording app called Rev Voice Recorder that can save your files to Dropbox. So there are resources out there for you guys to get access to. If you like to role play, you can role play. You could do fun stuff. Find a hobby that you've always wanted to do, and if there's anything I can do to help you achieve that hobby, or if anyone else here can help you achieve that hobby. Maybe you want to get better at audio editing. Maybe you want to take up a craft. Like Ashley, she crochets and she sometimes knits. I would offer her to do a training course on that, but that's not very easy to do over the internet. Otherwise, I'd say, yeah, let's get a training course on crocheting. But if you can, learn a new language if you can. There are some options out there. I know Rosetta Stone is inaccessible, but I don't know how Duolingo is.
It is. It's
doable. I've seen people use it.
Okay.
Yes.
So there are.
Apparently, they offer Klingon as well.
Language. There are some people.
They offer Klingon.
They offer Klingon.
Duolingo does.
Yes.
Duolingo offers Klingon. Okay,
Apparently.
Well, if you want to take Klingon, Jody, let's figure out how to do that so we can take Klingon. So there's always room to broaden your knowledge, your expansive knowledge. And most importantly, open your channels of communication. I think if there's one good thing people have been talking about with the coronavirus is that families are talking more than ever now.
Yes.
So moms moms are talking to their kids. So and I, if there's an extra time on your hands and you're like, oh, I'm bored, maybe put a new craft or a new skill to work and maybe do something for your family, or check up on your relatives, your neighbors, because that kind of gets you out and gets you socializing with them. And not only that, but it shows that you care and that you support one another. We actually had a 4.9 earthquake last night.
What?
Yeah.
Is that still going, or is that over?
In San Diego, right?
It was in Anza.
Well, not in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, no. The epicenter was literally like 30 minutes away from us, so it was pretty. It was violent, and the first thing that I heard after the earthquake was neighbors coming outside, going, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" And they were saying that to each other. Now, had the quarantine not been in effect, everybody would have been at work. There could have been buildings damaged and people could have been not at home to check on their neighbors, but everybody rushed outside of their apartment. Are you okay? How are you doing? Are you okay? And if there's anything that we can glean from this is we shouldn't let that die. We shouldn't let this closeness and the support that we're offering one another, because we're at home and we're able to offer that support, we shouldn't let it die. If you have an idea for a group, a book club, start a book club, if you could be a part of one. I know there are groups out there. I know there's one on WhatsApp called the Let's Read group, but I don't know who runs it, but I do know it exists. And there's also a Let's Write group. So, and then I don't know who believes in meditation of any kind. I wouldn't say that I'm a strong believer. I wouldn't say, oh my God, I meditate every single day, but it does help. Even just listening to nature music, relaxation, even listening to some ASMR, find something that really relaxes you. And most importantly, take care of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others. And the inability to get out, it affects a lot of people. So at this time, if your spirituality or your mental health doesn't feel in check, you have time to devote to you now. So start taking care of you. because that's what's really, really important. So,
Another good app. Sorry.
Go ahead. That's fine.
Another good app if you're into journaling and it doesn't do audio journaling, but if you want to write, another good app is Momento, Momento, and you can import your Twitter and Facebook into that as well. And there are other Swarm, uh, Move, I think it's called.
Yeah, there's like apps that you could add your activity, although there isn't
Yeah,
going to be much activity these
Spotify.
days.
There's going to be much activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but their Memento is another great option. I love the name Memento because I think it means remember in Latin. From what I heard.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
it
it
means
does.
remember in Latin. So memento. So remember. Remember to take care of yourself. Remember to do those journals. Remember to take up a hobby. Do something that's going to help you. And I think that's the most important thing that we can do at this point. There are a lot of, we just have to Google them and hope we find the right one. There are a lot of people offering courses online for free. So just whatever you can stumble upon it, whether it's to broaden your knowledge, whether it's to become more aware of your inner self, or whether it's to do something fun. You have so many great opportunities here, and you're not alone. There are so many people who are here who are willing to help, not only because they have the time, but there's still good and kindness in this world. It doesn't seem like that when we turn on the news. The media likes to drain the
humidity.
humanity.
The humidity.
I meant to say humanity. The media loves to drain the humanity out of you, and they probably drain the humidity out of you too. Because I know when I listen to the news, I usually come away feeling high and dry. Not really, but we got to focus on the passion and the humanity that's in all of us. And in the humidity too, because I'm sure a lot of people are dealing with the humidity, and that could probably get very annoying.
Yep.
I know that. I can always tell when rain's coming because my ankle hurts. Ow. Yeah.
Oof.
So.
Rain is coming. Seriously, rain is coming.
Yeah.
It really is coming.
So, but yeah, with that, I'm gonna let everybody kind of offer their own closing thoughts, and then I'm gonna end the discussion. So, is there anything that you'd like to say, Jody?
Yeah, with your kids at home, it's good to try to stick to the schedule, but not be totally rigid about it. Don't stress out if they're not getting all the schoolwork done in one, in the same day. They're scared too. So, like, don't get into a battle over the schoolwork. In fact, that's what her teachers have told me. Because they send out these group emails, and they say this is a different time, so don't get into a battle. Just let them be kids. Let them, as long as they get it done. Don't it's 8:30 to 11:30 every single day. Kaylin gets her work done well before 11:30, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's
not going to sit there until 11:30. Yeah. So, whatever free time she has, she can read a book. She can play with her dolls. She can play with her toys. She has Dice World. We play Dice World together on her.
Fun.
Yeah. So
That
she
is
likes
cool.
math. So she loves Farkle.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we do that. And,
She likes
and
her
we
numbers.
And we play Uno.
Seriously, that girl's got to consider a
We
STEM
have-
career, really.
Yeah. And we have Braille Uno cards. So we play Uno.
Oh,
We
where
have
did you
something
get the
called
Braille Uno cards?
I found them at
from
Mexico's.
from the Division for the Blind, and we have something called Skippo too, but we don't know how to play that. So
Skippo?
the next time,
Interesting.
yeah. So the next time we play,
Maybe you ought to
next
Google
time
it
we-
or
It's an
look it up
interesting
on
card game.
YouTube. Oh, it is.
What is it?
Yeah, I don't remember offhand how to play it, but it's fun.
Yeah.
If there's a guide somewhere, take it.
Yeah. Next time as long as things work out, my next meeting with my caseworker is May 4th. So if, as long as we can meet, we can maybe ask her to play with us and see if we can, because the schools
Yeah.
are not
Oh,
opening
yeah.
up again. So Kaylin will be here. So hopefully we can, she can
Yeah,
teach us
so
how to play.
I just wanted to speaking of games, I heard about this one, and now I don't know how good it is, but I stumbled upon it on Reddit. There's a YouTuber who got bored because of the quarantine, and they made a game. I don't know if he's released it yet on the Lady A skills, but it's called Mutter Response or Mutter Nonsense. You know,
It's like you don't know Jack.
Yeah, it's kind of like you don't know Jack. But basically what they do is you start a game on Lady A, and they're going to give you a URL, and you enter the URL in your phone, so you can have like 4 or 5 people with your phone, and then they're going to give you a code. So then, once people have joined the room for the game, sort of like how you don't know Jack is set up, she's going to give you a prompt, and you answer either A or B or choice 1 or choice 2. I saw it, and I actually saw a YouTube of these guys playing it, and it was like really cool. So I keep an eye out for that and check out Mutter Nonsense. I don't know if it's available yet. It could be coming out, or it could be already here. But you can buy different packs, just like the Jackbox games. So it's a fun little game that, like, if you were at home and you have a few family members with you, maybe something you could play with your spouse. There's a lot of mystery and suspense thriller subscription boxes coming out. Like there's a murder mystery subscription box, and they give you like, if you can't afford to pick one up, they give you like a box with photos of a crime scene, and you have to actually be like a detective and solve it. And I hear that that's really fun to do with your family.
Another Lady A game I like is the Vortex. That's fun too.
Oh yeah, the Vortex is a good game from Lady A. So there are some games.
It takes forever though.
Yeah. I don't know if there was a game called Starfinder, but I heard about that game too.
Yeah, was it Starfinder? I played that one too, but you have to buy a lot of the. Yeah, when you
the
play
first episode's for free, but
yeah, that's interesting too.
Yeah, but there are some fun things you guys can try. There's games. But now I'm going to move on to Jack. Would you like to offer any closing thoughts before we conclude?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Pardon me for the echo. My headphones just died.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Yeah, I missed a few of that. I heard a lot of talk about games. Definitely check out some of the new releases. There's a lot of fun stuff to try out, and basically what everyone else said, just do whatever makes yourself and everyone else, happy, and just be.
That's very good advice.
Be out there for people if they need it.
What Jody gave to us is good advice too. Like, keep your kids on a routine, but you're not gonna expect them to be perfect at it, and neither should you be. So
don't make it a hard, fast rule.
Yeah, I think it's very, very good advice. So Jane, would you like to offer any closing thoughts?
Just everybody has said. Right now, though, I am on a routine because of this program, good. So I have a lot to do in a short week. But yeah, no, just keep a routine if you can. Different, I don't know, oils help. I like essential oils and
oh yeah, diffusing essential oils is great. And I have a Scentsy business. So that's, I think we got everybody. I know Joe talked a little bit. And so we got everybody to talk about their challenges and great advice for coping techniques. So I'm going to end the discussion now. Everyone's free to hang out on TeamTalk if they want, but for now I'm just going to end the recording and just say that I wish everyone a speedy recovery. It is a tough time, but there are resources out there. The media likes to shield us from the fact that there are good people out there trying to help, and you may not get exactly what you're looking for. You may not be completely satisfied, but there is the brighter side of humanity, and if we can just focus on that and help others and show our brighter side of humanity too, I think that is going to be the strength, the one thing that gets us through this quarantine. So I want to wish everyone the best of luck, and I want to thank everyone for listening and for attending the discussion tonight, and I want everyone to be safe and healthy. Thanks, everyone.
Wasn't that discussion amazing? Some great people coming out to share their stories. And I would like to hear from you. If you want to share your story and possibly be featured on the podcast, then get in touch with me. My email is morningsong24@gmail.com. Again, morningsong24@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at morning_song. Visit my podcast page for great episodes, and I'm looking forward to bringing some more awesome stuff for you guys. So keep me in the know of some awesome topics, some maybe some comments, suggestions, anything you guys want to talk about. I'm all ears. And again, I appreciate you guys for being all ears and listening to the podcast. Join us for episode 3 coming up shortly. I look forward to seeing you. Have a great day, everyone, and stay safe. Thanks once again for listening to Mel's Podtastic Life.